I don't like to say good morning. I got in the habit many years ago in the military. You say good morning, and most people say good morning in the various languages. What's good about it, Peña? No, Master Sergeant, whoever it was, it doesn't matter. Do you like me, Peña? And what are you going to say? Yes. If you say yes. Oh, you like me, Peña? Do you want to have sex with me, Peña? And if you say, no, you don't like, and then, you don't like my mother because she had me, and then it goes on and on and on. No matter how the fuck you answer it, it's wrong. And and of course, Peña was a nice name they call me. Normally they call me Penis. Penis. And so whenever somebody says good morning, and he meant it, genuinely, I know Jamie did, and many of you say it to me. I mean, it's been 40 years, but I still think, if I jump in that guy's face and, lock your heels means you make him stand at attention, etc. But the little kids like yourselves, except for a couple of you, you were in the Marine Corps, and which I found out yesterday, leading these bubble wrap lives. And some of you, or some of the kids that come through here have been in a fraternity, and they think that hazing at the fraternity is just, it's nothing. It's nothing. And once in a while a kid dies in hazing in the fraternity, which is sad. It's too bad. And only recently do you read about when kids unfortunately die in boot camp, which doesn't happen too often. But when I went through in the 60s, other than free sex, drugs, and rock and roll, I mean, life was a lot tougher in the military. And the now Navy SEALs, in which I was in the North Pole with a Navy SEAL, they go home on the weekends, which is beyond my during training. It's beyond my comprehension. Of course, now they say, because politically correct people with bow ties have told them that you need to rest your mind and body. Well, the whole thing about the fucking Navy SEALs and the Ranger training stuff that I went through is they want to see how you react when you have no time to think, when you have no time to rest, when you have no time to recoup, either mentally or physically. And that's the life I went through. So and some of the examples I've given you about some of the things that happened to me when I was a kid, when I look at your eyes, it's back to the deer in the headlights. I'm a product of that social and economic milieu, and you're a product of yours. And this morning when it wasn't raining, but when I got up early this morning, it was raining hard, and I was saying, oh, they're going to put their little booties on, and they're going to, maybe this time I'll have a little scarves. And when it's cold here, and it's cold to you, not really cold, they sit in here with their little scarves, scarves on, and some wear gloves, and I think to myself, Jesus Christ, I mean, no wonder some people make it tougher than this program really has to be. Last night, we're going to go over the homework we didn't go over yesterday, but not now. But last night you saw Klaus, right? Dr. Klaus Kleinfeld, current chairman and CEO of Alcoa, former CEO of Siemens, the 20th or so largest company in the world, a German company. I told you yesterday, I think, pretty sure, in Germany, and for those of you that are German, there's a right way, a wrong way, and a Siemens way. Okay, and they're an institution, and there's two or three other big companies in Germany that are institutions, and I was part of that for about 10 years. What was the takeaway from Klaus? Other than he's not like me, but I mean, other than that, what's the takeaway?
I found his systems interesting. I mean, he's I don't know how many billion dollar corporation, and he had maybe, I'd say that's sort of like 6 sort of habitual systems of rating people and reports and so forth. I thought that was interesting.
And he has his reports, his directs, as they call them, the people who directly report to him. If I remember correctly, report him to him twice a week. I think it's Tuesday and Friday, or Monday and Friday, or something like that. And I do the same thing. And the form that he uses, we're going to show you later on, the exact form. Because if you Google it, forms Klaus uses, it's not on the internet. But it's a military form. And it's still used in NATO, and it's still used in the Army. I don't know about the Marine Corps. But it's a military form that was developed shortly after World War II. And it's succinct, it's to the point. And it's not dissimilar to the report that you'll be filling out for me on a weekly basis. What did you do this week? Which, I'm being facetious now. Nothing. What are you going to do next week? Less than nothing. And then the third section is problems. I have now changed that to problems and challenges to try to be 21st century. But there are no, one of the Hall of Famers up there, a female, told me a long time ago, she says, Dan, you know what the difference between a problem and a challenge is? So I'm trying to think kind of like when Grazzo says when you put your hand in the commode in the water, and this places. I said, no, I think I do, but tell me. He says, a problem is, a challenge is the difference between your fifth and sixth orgasm. A problem is having no fucking orgasm. And I thought about that, and now this is from a woman. Fifth or sixth, it was a little hard for me to relate. Maybe Bow Tie can relate to that, fifth or sixth, So you list your problems and your challenges, and then now a new thing in the last few months is that you list what was your idea when you came to the castle, what was your idea when you left the castle, what was your passion when you came to the castle, what was your passion when you left the castle, and that changes. And again, when you ask me a question, I tell you, okay, list the question. Now you list in your mind 3 alternatives, 3 answers. And 95% of the time, you get the answer. 5% of the time, you don't. And then I rate the answers. Number 1 is the best way to do it. Number 3 is the second best way to do it, etc. And so when you're doing these reports, in addition to being accountable for your time. What else was the takeaway from Klaus?
Yes. I found a couple of things. Firstly, just how detail-oriented he was. He just knew everything about everything. Like, when someone asked him a question, he'd thought of it already, and he knew everything and thought about the process behind it and the philosophy behind the question, and very detailed. And then also, I was surprised that you hadn't beaten the niceness out of him when he was saying that
He used to be nicer, but anyway.
Well, I was surprised about that story with the workers in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I suppose not surprised if before he came to the seminar, but after I'm surprised he was still like that. But he genuinely believed that he could learn something from everyone. But
I mean, Eisenhower, Patton, Napoleon. They all think it's not dissimilar. Great leaders think they can learn. It's like I told you guys early on. One of the things that I like about it, keep giving the seminars, is that I learned something from you dipshits. Not every dipshit, but I learned something every seminar, and it keeps me sharp. Now, if I was sitting in a room like this for a week with Jack Welch's, I'd learn more. But and every once in a while, Klaus Kleinfeld comes across my path, and so I learned a lot from Klaus. Not as much as he learned from me, but I learned a lot. I really learned more about the German mentality, which for those of you that have never done business in Germany or don't understand the Germanic way, that's a whole different way of life. And it allowed me to be a better leader, but it also allowed me to deal with Eastern Europeans better, the Romanians, etc. I just got an email from a guy, and I get, come and do these things in Australia, come and do these things wherever. Well, we just had a gypsy contact me this morning. The non-black black? No, it's not the non-black black guy. No. A real gypsy. In fact, 2 gypsies. The son of the former Minister of Finance, who's been through this program from Romania, and then another gypsy. But the other gypsy wanted to ask me, what would it take for me to come to Romania and do a high level, this kind of thing for executives. And I said, nothing could get me there. But I've also been asked by the royal actually two of the royal families in the Middle East to come, and I said no. I said I do one special for them here, just like I did for Ron LeGrand many years ago, but I'm not going there to do one because 50% of this seminar is this is the perfect metaphor for yesterday's dreams or today's realities or today's dreams or tomorrow's realities. If you don't get it being here, you're fucking something's not right with you. I mean, it's pretty simple. The doc said it clearly. I don't live like everybody else. In fact, I don't live like any of the other coaches either, for that matter. And in fact, I say this not tongue in cheek. You live better than, I want to say 95%, but that's be a Trumpism. 50% of the coaches you live better than. You today, if you never did another fucking thing, 50%. And it may be even more than 50%. One of these days, next time, because you're going to go to seminars, I know you are. Next time, follow them home. Or get your little pennies together, a bunch of you, and hire a private investigator to follow them where they go after the seminar. Follow them to their cold storage flats, 7 stories up, that no elevator to, and they're driving a Focus. You'll be fucking stunned. You won't. But anyway, I don't want to slag off the boys too much. Okay, what else about Klaus?
Yeah. I noticed there was a difference between the entrepreneurial mindset and Klaus per se, in that he wasn't as entrepreneurial. He was more of a super manager.
He is a Superman. He's a world-class manager. There's no question about that. Yeah. They want to, as not just they do, but all the great companies, not all, but most of the great companies, they don't want to hire entrepreneurs. They want to have people that have entrepreneurial spirit, but still want the security of a big company. And, that's what they want. And that's great. Yes.
Coming from a corporation, I found it quite interesting that he handles his emails that way and personally answer that, have it established for such an organization. It's just a proper system. I mean, big respect to that.
Yeah. Well, I answer my own emails as well. And I do my own social media, which is, Facebook has become a pain in the ass with 35,000 fucking idiots. Please unface me, whatever it is, kids, it's fine with me. Unfriend me, is that what it is? But I do my own. Up until a couple of years ago, I had my people do it. But the answers, even though they've been with me a long time, the answers they give, even though they're on the same road, it's not the same. And so I do it, and it's time consuming, but I do it. And but he's a hands-on guy. He's a very hands-on guy, and that's why he's had such tremendous results. Now, when he went to Alcoa, since he's been there, not since he's been there, but in the last few years, I mean, the price of aluminum has gone from, I think, $3,500 a ton to $1,200 or $1,500 a ton. And that's tough to make money when you're in the aluminum business, when the shit more than cuts in half. But he's he's very hands-on. Any last comment about Klaus? Yeah, Doctor.
Yeah, just the challenges he likes to put himself into. When he was giving a list of like the different sectors that he was in with Sensman, I mean, it was like, well, I was in this sector, that sector, all the different projects that he listed. They weren't one type. It was all a broad spectrum, and just the challenges he liked to put himself into. World-class managers want to be challenged. I mean, whereas, guys, there are no world-class managers in this room, but you don't want to be challenged. You talk about being challenged. You want money. You want wealth. You want respect. And unfortunately, you want to be liked. That's a fuck combination. That's a combination for disaster. But anyway, good. Okay, YouTubers. We'll see you later.